Welcome back to the Sumo Flashback channel. Today, we dive into the fascinating story of a giant, Dewagatake, who once graced the sumo ring with his presence. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and join us for more exciting sumo history. Let's begin. Bunjiro Sato was born on the 20th of December 1902 in Yamagata Prefecture. While there were various theories about his exact birthplace, one thing is certain: Bunjiro was an exceptionally large child. By the time he entered elementary school, he was already 161 centimeters tall, a stature comparable to that of a teacher, especially considering the average physique of Japanese people at the time. Despite his impressive build, Bunjiro was timid and often a crybaby. During his elementary school years, he preferred spending time reading books rather than participating in group activities. Feeling self-conscious about his large size, Bunjiro avoided standing out in front of others whenever possible. When Bunjiro was sent to look for work as an apprentice, his size became a challenge. No one was willing to take him in. Eventually, he was taken under the care of Sato Kichi, who managed the Aoyama Brain Hospital in Tokyo. This arrangement was facilitated through the caretaker of Nakagawa village in Yamagata Prefecture. When Bunjiro Sato moved from elementary school to junior high school, he was already at a height of 180 centimeters and weighed over 100 kilograms. Despite his massive size, Bunjiro excelled academically. Thanks to Kiichi's guidance, he was intelligent, achieved good grades, served as class leader, and aspired to become a pediatrician in the future. Initially, Bunjiro declined an invitation from the Wanumi, a sumo stable sponsored by Kichi. The stable master at the time was the formal 19th Yokozuna Hitachiyama. However, Dei Wanumi's persistent recruitment efforts eventually swayed him, leading him to drop out of school and join the stable. By this time, Bunjiro was an imposing figure, standing 198 centimeters tall and weighing 140 kilograms, though some sources offer differing figures for his height. A sumo journalist, Noriyasu, shared an account suggesting that Kichi had planned for Bunjiro to become a sumo wrestler from the start. Kichi, who prided himself on adopting the smartest man and the biggest man in Japan, persuaded the initially reluctant Bunjiro to join Dei Wanumi. One story recounts that Bunjiro was diagnosed with gigantism during middle school, which left him feeling discouraged. It was during this period that Kichi convinced him to embrace the world of sumo. Bunjiro made his professional sumo debut in the May 1917 tournament under the Shikona Dewagatake, a name inspired by his hometown of Yamagata Prefecture and his stable, Dei Wanumi. At the time of his debut, he was already large but notably slow, which made it difficult for him to succeed. It took 3 tournaments before his name appeared on the ranking list. Having been viewed as peculiar since childhood, he found his early sumo career particularly challenging, as he faced ridicule while struggling at the bottom of the rankings. Under the guidance of Tachigayama, he managed to get to the top division during the January 1925 tournament. While he remained slow at the start of matches, his impressive physique, which continued to grow, gave him a significant advantage. He became proficient in techniques like the arm lock throw and sabe ori. Sabe ori is a winning technique in sumo, which the attacker holds his opponent by the mawashi and throws all his weight high, forcing the opponent's knees to buckle. He also excelled in both grappling and pushing and thrusting techniques. He preferred holding his opponent's mawashi with the left hand outside and right hand inside. His most frequently used winning technique were the arm lock throw, followed closely by thrust out. Even though he was not considered particularly strong overall, his size and style often caused injuries to his opponents, which made him a feared competitor. For instance, during the May 1926 tournament, Tachimitsu sustained a severe leg injury from his sabe ori attack. The injury led to Tachimitsu's demotion from the rank of Izeki and effectively ended his career. He made an impressive debut in the top division, finishing with a strong 8-3 record. He built on this success in the following tournament, achieving an even more remarkable 9-2 record, and finishing as the runner-up to Yokozuna Nishinumi, who also recorded a 9-2 result. Unfortunately, a playoff system had not yet been established, so no additional match was held to determine the winner, and as such the highest-ranked individual won the tournament, in this case the Yokozuna. This performance earned him a promotion to Sekiwake for the January 1926 tournament, after competing in only 2 Makuuchi tournaments. He maintained his spot in the Sanyaku ranks for 10 consecutive tournaments, from January 1926 to October 1928. Persistent knee injuries prevented him from advancing to the rank of Izeki and then to Yokozuna, as many fans foretold. He never regained his position in the Sanyaku ranks after that period. He missed both the May and October 1928 tournaments while ranked as a komusubi, and by the January 1930 tournament, he had fallen to the bottom of the Makuuchi division. In 1932, the Shunjun incident caused a lot of wrestlers to walk out on sumo. A lot of wrestlers went on strike, including him, demanding for an improved constitution of the Sumo Association. This issue will be explained in details in another video. Most of these wrestlers went on to cut their top knots and retire. Unlike many others, he refused to cut his top knot, citing physical and emotional reasons. He was later persuaded by Seido Mokichi, a famous Japanese poet who wrote a book about the giant's life. He eventually returned to the Sumo Association in the May 1932 tournament, competing as an unranked Makuuchi wrestler and quickly fell down to Makushita. On his return to Makushita ranks, he was already about 205 centimeters and weighed about 203 kilograms, and also, he had lost most of his strength compared to his dominance at Sekiwake. A famous video was recorded during his return time in the Makushita ranks. Let's have a look. A young announcer calls out his name. The 205 centimeters tall giant mounts the ring. He walks to the corner, starts a shiko in preparation for his match. He lifts one huge leg while maintaining his balance. Everyone, including the kids and the adults present, looks at him in disbelief. The match begins with his opponent charging into his large chest. His opponent tries to keep him away with some thrusting. It has little effect on him. He watches his opponent carefully, waiting for his chance to strike. He gains a little momentum and swats his opponent away like a fly. With just one hand, his opponent is sent packing out of the ring. According to some fans, his time in the lower ranks was just a quarter of his lost strength and speed compared to his top division days. Let's watch one more of his matches and analyze it. His opponent squats low and looks scared of his size. He pushes him, but gets kick on his legs. He watches his opponent closely. They come to a standstill. But his opponent quickly goes for his legs and brings him down. This video shows how his height became his weakness because smaller wrestlers always targeted it. His last top division tournament took place in January 1935. Following this, he missed 5 consecutive tournaments, which caused him to drop down to the Sandanmei division by May 1938, although he managed to return to the Makushita division by January 1939. His struggles persisted, and he ultimately retired from sumo in May 1939. This was a big palm print from his hand. Let's compare with an average person. Well, your thoughts are the same as mine. He was truly a giant. After retiring from active competition, he stayed with the Japan Sumo Association, working as a coach for his stable. However, in 1948, he left the sumo world entirely and transitioned to a new chapter in his life. He opened a restaurant and a flower shop near Tokyo's train station, where he spent his last years. After retiring from sumo, he married a woman named Otoyu. His hobbies were photography and fishing. He also loved flowers and birds. On June 4, 1950, he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and passed away a few days later. On June 9, 1950, at the age of 47, Initially, plans were made to fully dissect his body for research into gigantism, but out of respect for him, only a simple pathological autopsy was performed at the time. His body was preserved at the University of Tokyo Faculty of Medicine for several decades. In 1984, 34 years after his death, a detailed study of gigantism was initiated, and his body was fully dissected as part of the research. To this day, a part of his remains is preserved as a specimen at the University of Tokyo Hospital. His sumo career spanned a total of 56 tournaments. His overall record stood at 209 wins, 179 losses, 114 absences, and 2 draws, for a total of 390 matches. He spent the majority of his career in the top division, participating in 32 tournaments. He achieved a record of 150 wins, 138 losses, and 53 absences, totaling 288 matches. In the Juryo division, he competed in 7 tournaments, achieving a record of 23 wins, 21 losses, 11 absences, and 1 draw, for a total of 45 matches. In the Makishita division, his record stood at 16 wins, 12 losses, and 50 absences over 28 matches. In the Sandanmei division, he achieved 12 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, and 17 matches across 3 tournaments. In the Jonadan division, he participated in 1 tournament, achieving a perfect 5-0 record. In the Jonakuchi division, he recorded 3 wins and 2 losses in 1 tournament. At the very start of his career in the Shinjo division, he struggled, losing both of his 2 matches in a single tournament. His journey highlights the value of mentorship, self-awareness, and the willingness to reinvent oneself when faced with change. Additionally, his posthumous contribution to medical research underscores the significance of leaving a lasting legacy through purpose and impact. His story reminds us that success lies not just in achievements, but in perseverance and the ability to positively influence others. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. See you in the next one.